Whoever wrote the script for Babygirl needs to be federally investigated, and when I say that, I mean this man most definitely was enthusiastically attending P. Diddy parties, and I do not mean that in a funny way. Before we get started, I do want to give a trigger warning for essay and manipulation, narcissistic manipulation, and victim blaming, and just horribleness in general. So first hour of the movie is actually kind of funny. It's actually like the spicy scenes are done so poorly. Like, I love Nicole Kidman, but it was done so badly and so unrealistically. There's a part where she's chewing on a tie. There's another part where she's humping the carpet. And it's funny, like, especially when she's, like, licking up milk off of a bowl. Like, people are laughing because it's done so... The whole theater was, like, hysterically laughing. I even got clips of the theater laughing. See, everyone's laughing, we're having a good time, we're just thinking it's like this really cheesy, like 50 Shades of Grey knockoff. But then it takes a very, very dark turn. There is a situation when you realize it's going to take a dark turn is like when she's trying to cut him off, right? It's no longer this cute, fun affair. He's now like entered her family home and she's like, we need to cut this off, right? And that's when it gets really dark. There's a point where this is where you realize it's about to get bad. Is they go into an office, he basically locks her in this office. They're sitting down having this conversation, and he is doing the manipulator thing of telling her, hey, I need you to say that this is consensual. And she's like, no, like, I'm not. She's done. She doesn't want to do this anymore. And he's like, no, I need you to say this is consensual or I'm going to get up and go ruin your life. Like, not even joking. Even uses the term consensual. Like, he's saying, no, I need you to say this is consensual. I need you to say that you're going to do whatever I tell you to do, or I'm going to ruin your life. And repeatedly does this back and forth to the point where she just breaks down. She's sitting on the this desk, and she's to the point where she's stuck in a position where she does not want to do this anymore. She makes that very clear. But he's like, no, I will ruin your entire life and your family's life if you do not say out loud that you consent to this. Very common manipulation technique. This is sexual assault. Like, you are now in sexual assault territory. She finally caves and says it. You can see the look of relief whenever he leaves the room. Like, crap, she's stuck in this situation. Later on, they get into a situation where he is making her take off her clothes. Like, she is crying. She is physically crying, saying she does not want to do this. Finally takes off his clothes and everything because he's making her. A lot of people think, like, a lot of men think, like, a force is only if you're, like, forcing. No, she's physically crying, so if you are forcing her. You may not be physically taking off of her, but you've put her in a position where she has no choice. After she is crying and she's now naked and he is hugging her and, like, pretending to be a good guy, and then things happen, right? Things happen. They do things. And after they've done things, after the sexual assault has happened, after the exploitation and everything and putting her in this position, he starts feeling guilty. He realizes he is a bad guy, the thing that a lot of rapists go through. They're laying in the bed, and he's like, oh, you probably think I'm a bad guy, which all of us are sitting there like, yeah, you just forced her to do stuff with you. Of course you're a bad guy. But instead, she starts comforting him and is like, oh, it's okay. No, I don't think you're a bad guy. I think you're smart and you just know what people want. And making it seem like by forcing her, but if he's just good enough at the sex, suddenly she'll want it, right? That's very much what it's giving off. There's a point where he's like, oh, can you hold me? And it's like, hello, mommy issues. What is happening? It is very much, the whole rest of the movie is pushing blame onto her. The whole thing is pushing blame onto her. Repeatedly, there's a part where they even make her sound crazy, where she's like, oh, you're mine and stuff. And make the whole premise of the second half of the movie is him essaying her, pushing her into this situation, and making it seem like if you essay women and you're good enough in bed, suddenly it's no longer essay and they'll just enjoy it. That, I kid you not, that is the whole premise. It's literally a rapist's wet dream. That is exactly what this is, except for without the G. They make this whole thing to make it seem like if men say women, it's okay if you essay women, because if you do it good enough, suddenly she'll like it. And suddenly it'll be fine. And suddenly it's all her fault. Like, there's a part where they're like, she's in this hot water with her husband and everything. At the end, I do like the ending part, because there's a part where, she's finally got rid of this dude. A male coworker tries to take advantage of her at the end. And it's like, oh, you should come over to my house and blah, blah, blah. Or I'm going to tell on you with this intern, basically. And she tells him to go off, which I did like. I did like that she, stood up for herself. But the fact that throughout this whole thing, It's SA. It's a sexual exploitation. He's forcing her into this, and it very much sets this undertone of it's the victim's fault, but also don't worry if you SA women, they'll like it as long as you do it good. It's no longer SA. They'll like it. It's fine. I kid you not. That is the whole premise. Whoever wrote this, especially the scene where she's comforting him because he realizes he's a bad person and realizes it's grave, and she's like, no, 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 it's fine now. It's fine now. You definitely just raped me, but you did it good, so it's fine. Like you made me get off, so it's fine. That shit you not, that is that scene of like comforting him and stuff. And you're just sitting there like, the whole theater went from like laughing our butts off because the first half, like I said, it's funny how cringy it is. They do not play out the S scenes very good at all in the first part. She's like doing it with her husband and then the masturbation and stuff. Like, but that ending, like I said, the second it switches over, we go from all laughing to all of us being like, fuck are we watching? Like, I saw more than one person like get up and take breaks from this movie because they were like, fuck is happening? Whoever wrote that script, whoever wrote those scenes, desperately needs to be investigated. They definitely out here attending P. Diddy parties and stuff, and I'm not even saying that in a funny way. I mean, there's something going on. That it was absolutely horrific. Also, just a quick side note, I don't know if the actor was told to pretend he was doped out on some bars or some perks, or if he was just legitimately on bars and perks the whole time. But dear Lord, if he was told to act like that and he wasn't on them, he did a great job. I will give him that because he literally, his face and everything, this dude looked doped on some bars so hard the whole time.